Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, PJ Asparagus. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, what's the difference between a subway and a metro? If you've ever traveled abroad, you've probably noticed how every city seems to have its own word for the same thing. New Yorkers hop on the subway, Parisians take the metro, and Londoners ride the underground. Yet, they all look remarkably similar. Trains speeding through tunnels, ferrying thousands of people every day beneath the streets. So are these just different names for the same concept, or is there something deeper behind them? Stick around as we uncover the fascinating story of how subway and metro came to be, and what they reveal about the cities that built them, right here on History of Simple Things. Let's start with where the names came from. The word subway is short for subterranean way, literally meaning an underground path. The term first appeared in the late 19th century when tunnels were being built beneath cities like London and New York to ease surface traffic congestion. Meanwhile, metro is short for Metropolitan Railway. It comes from the French term chemin de fer métropolitain, the name of the first Parisian underground system that opened in 1900. The term quickly caught on and spread internationally. So much so that today you'll find metro systems in cities from Moscow to Manila. So on paper, subway and metro actually mean the same thing: a rapid transit system designed for dense urban areas. The difference, then, is not mechanical or technological. It's linguistic and cultural. What people call their train system often depends on where they live and how that system evolved. In the United States, the word subway became the go-to term, especially in cities like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia. The first underground line in America opened in Boston in 1897, inspired by London's pioneering network. By the time New York City's subway opened in 1904, the term was already cemented into American vocabulary. The name fit perfectly. Most of the tracks were underground, and it sounded modern, fast, and distinctly urban. But here's an interesting twist. Not all subways are actually below ground. New York system, for example, runs both underground and above ground. The name simply stuck, even as the system expanded into elevated lines. Over time, subway became associated less with the tunnels themselves and more with the type of service: frequent, high-capacity trains running separately from street traffic. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, the French were building their own underground railway, the Paris Metro. Designed by engineer Fulgence Bienvenu, it was known for its elegant Art Nouveau entrances and dense station network that brought nearly every Parisian neighborhood within walking distance of a train. The name Metro was catchy, and it fit perfectly with the city's reputation for modern design and culture. As French influence spread globally in the early 20th century, so did the word metro. Soon, many non-English-speaking countries adopted it, not just because it sounded modern, but also because it was easy to pronounce across languages. That's why you'll find metro systems today in Rome, Madrid, Seoul, and Cairo. The name became almost a global standard, especially in places that wanted to project a sense of urban sophistication and progress. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. In terms of how they work, there's virtually no technical difference between a subway and a metro. Both are forms of urban rapid transit designed to move large numbers of people efficiently, usually separated from other types of traffic. They use electric trains, have frequent stops, and operate on dedicated tracks. It's also worth mentioning that the terminology varies even more around the world. In London, locals proudly call their system the Underground or the Tube. In Germany, you'll find both the U-Bahn, short for Untergrundbahn, meaning underground railway, and the S-Bahn, a suburban counterpart. In Canada, both subway and metro are used. Toronto has the subway, while Montreal has the metro. Each name carries a sense of local identity. When you say the subway, it conjures up the sound of steel wheels in a New York tunnel. The metro, on the other hand, brings to mind the sleek tiled walls of Parisian stations or the punctual trains of Seoul. They all serve the same purpose, but the words we use connect them deeply to the cities they serve. You might think, who cares what we call it, as long as it gets me to work on time? But language shapes how we see infrastructure. A name like subway evokes grit and scale, a massive machine humming beneath the streets. Metro sounds polished and international, a system that defines a city's rhythm and modernity. And underground feels historic, almost mysterious, like you're traveling through time as much as space. These words tell stories about how cities evolved. They reveal cultural priorities, whether a city values speed, design, or heritage. And in a strange way, they show how something as functional as a train system can become part of a city's soul. So, the next time you step onto a train platform, whether it's a subway in New York, a metro in Paris, or an underground in London, remember that you're part of a long global tradition. The names might differ, but the idea is the same: connecting people, neighborhoods, and lives through tunnels that pulse with the rhythm of the city above. It's a reminder that while we may speak different languages, we share the same human need to move, explore, and connect, even if we argue about what to call the train that gets us there. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.